Hello, everybody, and welcome to What's the Story podcast. This is WTS. What number now?
330, I think.
331, is it?
331, sorry.
Jesus, you told literally 10 seconds before we start recording, and as I started trying to say it, I was like, no, we're way past 100.
And I got it wrong as well.
So there you go. We're rusty. We've been off for a few weeks, a little bit of ring rust on us, but we're back in the squared circle now. And sure, look,
Danny.
Yes, Graham.
Why have we been off? What has happened in your life?
Not a lot, Graham. Not a lot. Just.
Do you have a turkey or do you have a baby?
Small bag of potatoes, man.
A bag of spuds.
Yeah, a little 2.6 something kg bag of potatoes. Little Hayley Murray came into the world there a couple of weeks back. So we haven't done a pod now in a few weeks because I've been off trying to figure out how to keep a small child alive, basically.
But when you say your weight in kilos, do they give them out in kilos now, not pounds?
Yeah, Graham, because the metric system are Europeans now.
Right.
Yeah.
So what pounds is that?
Well, don't ask me how I know this, right? But 2.27 kg is exactly 5 pounds. So I would say about 5 pound, £5.6 maybe.
Lovely. She is absolutely adorable.
Yeah, little teeny tiny thing, which is remarkable given the heft of me, like, you know what I mean? But sure, look, here we are.
How's motherhood and fatherhood treating both of you?
It's a journey.
Were you scared at the start, or because you were very relaxed before Oksana actually popped? You were very relaxed and calm, and you're very. Anytime I ask you a question, just should we do something or should we not do something or whatever, it's always like, I'm easy. Whatever you want to do, mate. You never make decisions. Danny, how are you feeling about? Oh yeah, I'm easy, man. I'm grand. Yeah.
Just don't see the point in getting. If like we're doing this podcast 10 years now, and those questions, 7, 8, 9 years ago, would have absolutely. I probably would have been way more aggressive almost in my response, but now I'm just like, what's the point, man? Yeah, look, we'll do whatever. I was slightly distracted here. I'll have to try and edit this out, or I'll just keep this bit in where I talk over it for a second or two. It's all right. You know what I mean? We're doing this 10 years. I can do what I want. Is that an update from Rome, Graham?
Yes.
What is the papal? Have we white smoke?
No white smoke. Sorry about that. We'll keep going there. Sorry.
We'll keep going. Very good. All right, roll it there, Roisin.
Roll it there, Colette.
Very good. What were we talking about? You were asking me a question. Why am I so laid back about things? I don't know, Mero.
No, it was just like when we're chatting on the daily, and I'm asking you about things. You're just like, I'm easy, man. Or even if it's a podcast question, or if it's, do you want to go to this, or do you want? I'm easy, man. Whatever you think. So when Oksana was approaching her due date, and I was asking you, how are you feeling? Yeah, grand, man. Yeah, grand. It was just the usual. So now that she has popped, what's your life like? Have you gone back to work yet?
No. Thankfully, I have to say, work have been absolutely dreamy about the entire situation, and I have plenty of time off that they have allowed me to take back-to-back paternity leave and annual leave and all those things so that I can be at home to spend a nice bit of time with Oksana and Hayley. But yeah, like it's, I mean, I don't know, like people talk about parenthood like is this, and that, like it is a big thing, right? Don't be wrong, but like the way people talk about it, maybe I just haven't got to that point yet. Maybe I'm still in this little newborn bubble where I'm just kind of like, I don't know.
I'd say that's how Rue Murray just went through life raising you and Jono.
Yeah, and still does to this day.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He's just indifferent about you.
Yeah, well, all right. I'm not going to say I'm indifferent. Like, don't get me wrong. There is this weird thing that kicks because, like me and Cubes had this conversation very openly where we're like it'll be normal not to love the child immediately, right? Like like very aware that we're bringing this life into the world and all that, but like. I don't know, like Cubes probably has a much stronger connection given like she literally grew inside her and all that kind of wonderful, amazing fucking human biology shit that goes on. But for me, like my work was done in about 7 seconds 10 months ago. Do you know what I mean? So like So we had this very, what I thought was a very mature and open conversation saying like, look, this might be hard work. This might be, and we might have to figure out what's what. And it's going to take time for us to adapt to, like, because me and Cubes have been together for a long, long time. We've done pretty much anything we wanted when we wanted because we haven't had kids or that like that to worry about. If we were doing something big, we probably had to plan, we're going to send the dogs into kennels for that. That was the biggest decision. Now it's all different. Now it's like there's this tiny little human that depends on us. But
You're probably loving life now because even during COVID and the tail end of COVID when it was gone, you were always loving life, cancelling things. Oh, COVID, I think there's the COVID, and now you're going to say, oh, we can't get a babysitter for Haley.
newborn man, I've got a child now. Um, yeah, look, I'm a creature of comfort. But now, like that, look, like
Jeez, I'm making you sound out to be a hermit. You're actually not a hermit.
no, I'm not at all. But I do, I pick and choose when I socialise and who I socialise with, if you get me. And there are times where like a couple of weeks ago, I was meant to meet up with a couple of former work colleagues of ours, Ray and Owen, two absolute gentlemen, and a couple of other former people from our former workplace. And
It's the
I
best.
just couldn't because of illness. Cubes. It started out. This is actually going back to now that I was sick there about 6 weeks. We couldn't figure out what was wrong with me.
Yeah, you were sick for 2 months.
Man, it was absolutely. Oh, who would have thought
From
syphilis could
Centre
do that to
Parks,
you?
wasn't it?
Well, that's I'm saying I got syphilis in Centre Parks. Um, if anybody from Centre Parks, the Eagle team, is listening, I fully accept I can't prove it, and I am not in any way putting liable upon the fine establishment that is in the Forest in Longford. All I'm saying is me getting sick and my stay in Centre Parks overlaps. But yeah, so it was around the same time. That's when I was meant to go, and I just couldn't. I was in a hoop. Our cubes was in a hoop for, and I was in a hoop, and the whole thing was just like, yeah, no, this isn't going to happen. But
First time in a while, you sound actually over the snuffles.
I am flying, Mero. Whatever the second round of drugs the doctors gave me when I finished that course, I was still a bit like, I don't think I've shaken this thing.
Steroid you were on, was it?
I was on like three different types of steroids.
Yeah, steroids are
So,
class.
unreal,
I've only
man.
ever been on
Unreal.
them once and I had a great time on them.
I was going around just challenging people in Duns and all, asking, what you going to do, brother? Do you know what I mean? Full
With your
on.
pythons.
Yeah, absolutely. I was telling people I had the largest arms in all of Portlaoise. I grew a mustache for a little while, handlebar. I don't know why. Like it was just happening. I was wearing a bandana 24/7, asking people if they're taking their vitamins, drinking their milk.
Come here,
Yeah,
Dan. I
yeah.
just want to give a shout out to my cousin. He's a long time listener of this show since the beginning.
Oh yeah.
He's watched the story loyal, and his business Clearview Solutions has got up and running. My cousin Craig. So go
Come on,
on
Craig.
to Instagram and follow Clearview Solutions,
I'm going to
or
do it
Craig
literally
or
right now.
Craig at Clearview Solutions. If you want your gutters cleaned or your windows cleaned, contact Craig at Clearview Solutions. Thanks very much. Checks in the post.
Craig Clearview, yeah.
Yeah, Craig Clearview Solutions. He's our number one of our number one fans.
There, I've hit follow on it, and
Oh, lovely.
I'm fully expecting to extend the services to the capital of Laois, Port Laois. Um,
Absolutely.
sorry, man. We went off on different tangents as we always do in rambles and whatever. There, right? I feel like I need to just rewind a second. I don't want anybody to think that I'm saying having children's a terrible idea. If you want to have children, have children, right? I'm just saying, for me, I don't know. I don't know, but I'm loving it. I am. I'm loving it. I'm delighted that we have a kid, and it's been an eye opener thus far. Any other questions about parenthood before I land myself in hot water with Tusla?
No, I love how when you're sending vlogs in, that, and I think Gary and Paul commented on it as well, where you're just there's no shushing, there's no keep
Mm-mm.
it quiet, there's still music in the background, there's still and the baby's still asleep.
Yeah,
Sometimes I think you can just be people can be a bit over the top with the
I I
you see it on programs and all you do shh shh. No, you need to get them into noisiness.
100%. I just think like I think every house needs music, right? I generally I think like I grew up in a house with music playing and all that kind of stuff. So I'm like I don't know. There's just something weird about a quiet house. I don't think there's any need for like a quiet house. But also, I just think like the more you wrap something in cotton wool, the more that's gonna stay forever, right? And the more they're gonna need that cotton wool is. And I'm just like, just make a bit of noise, like, and you'll figure out the volume levels that are gonna upset the kid or not upset the kid. And so far, as it turns out, Alexa can go up to volume 9 and the kid doesn't store. So it's great.
Yeah.
You know what I
Did
mean?
you do any parenting classes or anything like that?
No, no, I
No.
went to the antenatal classes and I think we talked about that
Yeah,
because
we
there was a
did. Yeah.
bit about the Bar's massage and I nearly lost my life. But no, no, not at all. Like Cubes is amazing with kids. I'm in such a fortuitous position that Cubes is amazing with kids. So I'm getting to soak up all of her knowledge and all of her wisdom and all of her just common sense. Where she's like, no, Dan, you can't hang a baby upside down outside a window like Michael Jackson just for the photo op. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm just kind of, okay, how do I do this? And she'll show me. I'm like, cool, thanks. And just try to get on with it. Because she's so tiny and fragile, I'm terrified of like hurting or damaging her unknowingly. Because as I said there a minute ago, I've got the largest arms in all of Port Leash after me dose of steroids. So I don't know my own strength at the moment. And little things like trying to put our little tiny arms through the little sleeves of like a vest or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm gonna rip her arm out of her. So I'm not.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You convince yourself that you're gonna damage her somehow. So
But again, you do
no.
see the programs, the reality TV programs, One Born Every Minute, and all the baby ones, where the midwife or the nurses they're dragging them from pillar to post, like, and
Yeah,
and no,
that's it.
nothing breaks or nothing.
Like, oh my God, speaking of it, right? So like we were in the hospital, baby arrived and all that kind of crack, right? And a couple of days in the hospital afterwards, did this gets said so much in Ireland, right? That the health system's a shit show and everything. And it is until you're in it and until you're actually receiving care. And the midwives and the nurses in the Midlands Hospital, saints, like I cannot tell you how amazing they were. With absolute between looking after Cubes and looking after the baby. But like, I was just like, what do I do? I don't know. Like, and I'm terrified. And they come in and they've got one baby in one arm and they just swoop the other one up, change the nappy with one hand. They doing backflips and cartwheels and uppy downies and twirly whirlies. And I'm standing there like a spare prick. And I'm like, how? How are you doing? Like, they're just amazing people. And yeah, like, we don't give them the credit. Well, no, I think they get the credit from the public. But I think there needs to be a lot more done to support people who work in our HSE.
Pay them more.
Fucking amen.
Nurses and midwives, up the nurses, up the midwives, pay them more.
Big time.
Will you go again?
Absolutely not. I
And
don't
how are
know.
the dogs? How are the dogs with Haley so far?
Very curious for the first like 20 minutes. And then what's really adorable is Polly couldn't give a shit, right? Polly could not give two shits. She had a sniff. She was like, is this living here permanently? We were like, what? It is, yeah. Away she goes, doesn't care. Lupo, on the other hand, we're convinced, like he's not sure if it's a squeaky toy or what it is, but every time Haley makes a sound, Lupo's up. So, like, we are changing her upstairs the other day, and she doesn't really like a nappy change, particularly when like the cold wipe hits her arse, kind of gives her a fright. I can understand that of being there. You know what I mean? Should get a pre-warmed wipe. If any of the nappy companies or whatever are listening, that water wipes crowd, any chance of like, I don't know, can the water be like warm water rather than this cold water that's like, hitting little teeny tiny baby bum cheeks and fucking giving them a fright? Come on. Oh, it's 2025. The technology's out there. Um, People are out there putting microchips and vaccines. I'm sure you can make a warm water wipe. Anyway, she lets out a little cry and then, the other lad comes sprinting up the stairs to investigate like a fucking detective. It's like, calm down, Lupo. It's all right, man. So the dogs are getting on great. They're just Lubo's like just everywhere the baby goes, he goes. Polly couldn't give a shit.
Yeah, I remember Suggsy with Edie. He was very inquisitive at the start, and then like he wanted to be around, but then if Edie was crying, he'd look for a quiet space, whether it be upstairs or my room, and he'd be gone. Like,
Yeah, that'll
it
be
ju-
me.
yeah, it's almost like he's just like, oh, here, I'm out of here. I can't be dealing with this,
Mm,
and he's gone to the different room. He never stayed around waiting. Once the cry started, he'd be gone. Now,
yeah,
as she's got older now and she's walking around, he's often licking her face, and she gets very giddy, and it's very cute actually. But
Yeah.
when she was an infant, he could not have given two shits. Like he just wanted his sleep in the evening, and he didn't want to be distracted. He didn't want any noises.
Amen to that, Suxy.
Yeah,
Amen to that. But look, anyway, look, a massive thank you to everyone who has been in touch with me just to say congrats and to wish myself and Cubes well and all that kind of stuff. It is appreciated. There's something very nice about when just people reach out for things that are like that because it's centered the universe to you, right? Like it's happening in your life. Do you know what I mean? But then there's this beautiful thing that happens where people go, I'm going to take a moment to just acknowledge that and kind of celebrate with them, even if it is
mm,
just a message on Instagram or WhatsApp or whatever. But it's people taking time out to say, oh, thank you, like really appreciate it. So I just wanted to say that.
very good.
But I think
Well
that's
done.
enough.
Well said.
That's enough baby slash parent. We're not. I mean,
Are you doing? You're relaxing and all as well. So are you watching much telly? Like any documentary recommendations? Do you know what? Actually, do you know what I watched this weekend with the
fun.
weekend that was inish?
Yeah,
Um, I watched it yesterday, Tuesday. Conclave.
amazing.
I
This is a
loved
fucking
it.
fabulous. Yeah, because when we had Brian Lloyd on a couple of weeks ago, you hadn't watched it, and me and Brian were saying it's brilliant.
Ah, I loved it.
Yeah, it's
Loved
great.
it.
You know? Yeah, it's great.
I thought
Brian was
Ralph Fiennes
brilliant
was
in it.
brilliant.
Lithgow was brilliant in it.
Yeah.
It's just a
Did you
solid,
see the
solid
two
movie.
popes?
Did I see the two? No, I didn't. I didn't watch that
Two
one.
popes is brilliant as well.
Mm,
Now,
yeah,
I think I prefer Conclave,
yeah.
but like I find all that so interesting. The Vatican, and
Oh,
not for like I'm not a fanboy. Like I'm not religious. I just find the history of it all just mind blowing. I find the kind of traditions of it. You have to do this, you have to do that,
yeah.
and even the conclave. It's such a medieval practice or something, and it's still going on. Like,
But the whole thing, and we've kind of been talking about it a little while, haven't we? Because when our Frano first took ill, we were kind of like, "Oh Jesus, is this is this it now? Are we gonna have the black smoke, white smoke situation launching
mm,
anytime soon?" Or and in fairness to him, we hung on a few extra weeks and whatever, but like we just started going down a little bit of a rabbit hole about like papal history, as you said, and just
yeah,
like how the Catholic Church is still standing for many different reasons, right? But just through the sheer madness of the various popes over the last couple of millennia,
yeah.
insane. Like the further you go back, the madder it gets. But yeah, papal history is absolutely bananas.
Franny was considered a people's pope. I find sense of hypocrisy and all that though.
Yeah, I think like no matter what you do, you got like I think any pope is going to be there's depending on what side of the fence you sit on, and because you and I would be, I wouldn't even say I'm an atheist. I'm fucking probably a nihilist. I don't know, but like I just
I'm just a nothing. Like I don't have
yeah,
any idea.
exactly, yeah, yeah, and I don't know.
I
I
find
find
religion interesting. I find all religion
oh
interesting,
yeah, that's
and
it. I'm fascinated by it,
if
but
practiced in the right way, it's peace and harmless. But
see, I don't know. Is it like I
I don't
think
know. Yeah, you're probably right.
and this is right, and this is where the papal history shit comes into it because when you
Exactly.
look at
There's
it
bad intentions everywhere, isn't there?
everywhere, man, it's a power struggle and it's all politics and it's all everything, and it's like I get that Francis probably did some good in terms of he was a little bit more outspoken than the average bear in terms of the Catholic Church stance on LGBT stuff, and he did say things about I'm paraphrasing completely, but that whole thing of like, well, why would I meet with a businessman who could be considered greedy and corrupt or whatever, but I won't meet somebody who's homosexual? That's hypocrisy from the church in terms of like we preach about poverty and all that kind of stuff, and sort of we take vows of poverty in the clergy, but then we're meeting these people who are only getting to meet us because of status, and then we shun our brother or our sister who
Yeah.
are gay. Why, like, so he did kind of have that sort of thing about him, but like, I don't know, I just think the whole church fucking the opulence and the wealth in the church, and then they're going around talking about, oh, this, that, and fuck off. Anyway,
Yeah.
um, I do have a
Is there?
I do have a favorite pope though.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, yeah.
Why? Firstly, why?
Because he was mental.
And what decade or what century is
Ah, you're
this?
going back way, way, way back. It was Pope Stephen the sixth, I want to say.
Right.
So he like that would have been the. I mean,
There's a Stephen Pope.
yeah, well, there's been at least six of them. So
That's mental. So this new Pope can pick Stephen.
yeah, of course you can. Yeah, yeah, they get to pick whatever yoke they want. Usually they go with a traditionalist kind of thing, but because wasn't Benedict like the 17th or something?
Yeah, yeah,
You
that's
know,
right.
there was Pope Innocent as well, or Pope Innocence. I think there's been like four or five of them because the third one was a badass. But
Come
yeah,
on, tell
Pope.
us about Pope Stephen.
So he was around in like the 800s, right? Like you're talking well over 1,000 years ago. But basically, he didn't like the Pope who was before him and decided he was going to do everything he could to fuck his reputation up. To the point where he had his corpse dug up and put on trial. Just mental.
What?
Just, yeah, just mental, right? He just decided, like, do you know what? Yeah, no, this lad needs to pay. Purely because there's an afterlife in Catholicism, right? And purely because he was like, well, we can't trial him in the afterlife, so let's take his mortal remains, put them on trial. So he literally had his corpse fucking dug up, put on the dock in a public court. They went through an entire trial. And of course, he was found guilty. Uh, his body was like fucking desecrated and he was fucking all these different things. And all because the Pope was like, I didn't like that fella. So he just went mental. Yeah.
And come here, did you just read about this, or is there a documentary or something?
No, I read about it. I read about it.
Right.
Yeah. There's
Because
lots of great stuff. Lots of great stuff in there.
I'm on a papal history buzz.
Have you ever watched The Borgias or The Borgia?
No, I didn't actually.
It was a HBO series
Yeah, I remember.
starring Jeremy Irons. It was all right, to be honest with you. I don't think they done. I like it, was look, it was decent, right? But the Borgia were mental. They were this noble Spanish family who basically rose to power in Rome and took over the church. And when I say took over the church, like literally, like talk about nepo babies. Like uh, they just start appointing nephews and uncles and sons and all to like all these really high ranking bishop slash cardinal positions, creating almost like a successionary line for
Yeah.
the Pope. Um, and yeah, they just ran amok, absolutely ran amok. There was another one then who he was only 18 when he was made Pope, and he just treated the Vatican like a big orgy. Like he just literally was having parties and just tours everywhere. Just
The Pope was 18.
18, yeah, he was 18 and he just ran amok.
What's the
Absolutely.
story with celibacy there then?
Yeah, well, this is it. This is the whole thing that, like, over the years, because of the sheer power that they had, you know, and a lot of them, like, especially I think the Borgia family, it was Pope Alexander I'm gonna say ninth. He had like seven kids, all of whom he acknowledged, and all of whom he was like, yeah, they're my kids, and what, you know. But up until he was Pope, they were like his nephews. Do you know what I mean? And then he gets the throne, and he's like, no, no, that's my son, that's my son, and he's now the
And
bishop
what
of
century was that?
Borgias, or like 12th century, 13th century, I
Right.
think. Um, but yeah, loads of mad shit. The Pope, and this is how the whole Martin Luther Counter Reformation and yeah, how the lefties came to be because Martin Luther and some other really devout Christians were looking at this from afar, going, "This is bollocks." Because the amount, like the whole thing of like pay to play, right? Because like they were all like, "You have a lot of sins, man. You've been doing a lot of all them whorehouses you were visiting, all those shady deal, all that. Didn't you murder someone? Listen, you give me 3 bags of gold, I'll say a couple of prayers for you, and because I'm the Pope, those prayers are worth more. You'll still get into heaven, and you can continue doing all your hearing, and you can continue to just keep the gold coming to me." Like the
There's
corruption.
there's supposed to be a good documentary. I can't find it, but I think it was on the BBC a couple of years ago. Maybe only like in the last 3 years inside the Vatican. Um,
Right.
so I was trying to find that, and haven't been able to find it yet. But yeah, I'm on a papal history bus because I just find it all so interesting.
Yeah.
Even now, like I'll be glued to the whole conclave. Conclave happens after his funeral, doesn't it?
Yeah, so his funeral is
Saturday.
Saturday morning. As we record, this is like midweek as we're recording it. So Saturday morning when this podcast goes out, you might be listening as you see images coming from the Holy See. And then it's
Will he
after
be
that.
laid to rest in a tomb in the Vatican? Will he?
Yeah, but he's gone for the very humble one. So he's not going into like St. Peter's, or he's not going into the traditional papal ones. He's going into Sancta Maria. It's a much smaller vessel, and he's going in a simple wooden casket.
Is
Apparently,
that
no,
is that in the Vatican or is it in Rome?
it's in Rome. I don't know if it's within the Vatican grounds or if it's just outside them, but yeah, it's like a temple to Mary, basically, that's going into.
Wow.
Um, but yeah, so then once that happens, then because the papal burial has to take place between 4 and 6 days after he's dead. But I don't know the reasons for that, but I just know that's the ruling on it. He gets buried, and then they go into conclave. So there'll be a whole gang of cardinals locked in St. Peter's and into the Sistine Chapel, I think it is. And they don't come out until we have a new
They're
pope.
locked away until we have
Yeah,
white smoke.
that's it. I just looked it up real quick while we were talking there. The 18-year-old pope, right? It's fucking brilliant.
That's
I
mental.
look it up, I'd say, because it's very interesting read. And you can just check it out on Wikipedia first and then sort of dive deeper into it if you wanted to. But yeah, just like pure scandal and shithousery. Uh, Pope John the 12th. He was from 955 to 964. So, I mean, a decade. This dad became Pope when he was 18 and he got a decade out of it. Um,
Pope John the 12th.
Pope John the 12th. Yeah. He was nicknamed the Fornicator Pope because he
He
turned,
was assassinated.
yeah, yeah, boy, some fella who found him in bed with his wife.
Ah, for fuck's.
Fucking
What did they
unreal,
do
isn't it?
electing 18-year-old popes like?
Unreal. And he was going around like like a mod. I think like the Sopranos. Like he was going around just ordering hits on people, just absolutely murdering people, riding people, fucking taking bribes left, right, and center. Everything. Just again that whole thing of like, what's wrong with you? You've sinned a bit and you're worried about the afterlife. I'm the Pope, baby. Give me a few quid. I've got a direct line to your man upstairs. I'll make it all go away.
I did notice that there was a documentary on Netflix. I don't even know what it's about now, but it's called The Vatican Girl. So
Right.
I don't know, is it Pope related or
I
I
thought
don't
that was
know.
a sequel to Galway Girl. No,
No. Have you not heard of Vatican Girl?
no, I haven't actually. And now that I've made that
Yeah.
joke, I'm regretting it instantly.
Shit, I was hoping you had heard about
No, no, I haven't. I haven't.
it. But yeah, I'll get on that buzz. Any other crack?
No, not a lot, man. Not a lot. I've
It's
gone
about it's about the disappearance of Emmanuel Orlandi.
right. I'm not familiar with it at all. Then
She was only 15 and she vanishes after leaving a music lesson, embroiling the Vatican in a decades old mystery.
right.
I'm gonna watch that.
Yeah. I don't, papal history's mad. It is
Yeah, it
absolutely mad.
is, and
Rather
even
you're
the true crime element of it as well. Because obviously
yeah.
you've seen The Keepers, haven't you?
No.
Oh my God, The Keepers is a watch on Netflix as well. It's just about awful sexual abuse in America.
Oh, sorry, sorry. Yes, yes, I have. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah.
that's like it's a good watch, but
That came out around the same time as that movie. That
it's harrowing though.
what's the name of that film now? Fuck, it's gone. It's not gonna come back to me. But there was a film about that whole American clergy sex abuse thing. Can't remember what it's called now.
Oh, was that the Boston thing?
Yeah,
The
I don't,
Boston
like,
newspaper. Mark
Spot,
Ruffalo's in it.
Spotlight or something like that is in my head, but that's not it at all.
Ah, it is. I think it is Spotlight.
But yeah, really, really, really good. Like harrowing, but really good film.
It is Spotlight 2015.
It is Spotlight. Jesus.
Yeah.
There we go. I shouldn't have doubted myself one bit, man.
Again, well, it's the Boston Globe. Martin Barnes
Yes.
joins the Boston Globe as an editor and pushes for four journalists named Michael Walter, Sasha, and Matt to pursue story about the child molestation charges against the local church.
Yeah, Stanley Tucci's in it, Rachel
Yeah,
McAdams.
it's
Yeah, yeah,
really
yeah.
good. It's really good, and that's the kip side of the Catholic Church with all the sexual abuse and you can't forget at home the Magdalene Laundries, Mother and Baby
Oh, that kind
homes,
of fucking absolute
the
terrible.
Toon Babies, absolute kip, and a lot of the time they're still denying elements of that in the form of not paying out redress. I think at the moment they've only paid out maybe 20% of redress,
It's
and then of
insane, isn't it?
course the government have said Jesus, this is some fucking podcast. But anyway, the government has said you're only eligible for compensation for mother and baby home if you were in it for 6 months or more. So if you were there up to 6 months, you're not eligible for compensation. Like that is just
Ah,
fucking disgraceful.
well, what's it like? What was there a cutoff on when they could or couldn't abuse people, or when they could and couldn't?
Exactly.
Like that's it's
You could
people.
have been there for 6 months and endured 6 months of literal hell.
You could
And
have been
the
there for
government are
six
saying,
minutes and had,
exactly.
like, come on, like I hate that kind of fucking arbitrary bullshit.
Terms
Like
and conditions on compensation, like it's absolute kid.
it's just classic in it that that's the kind of shit that goes on. But yeah, yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, look, we'll see who the next king of Rome is anyway. It'll
Yeah.
be, he gets to sit on a pointy throne and all that kind of stuff. But he's anointed by God apparently, so that makes him special.
Will you have a flutter on Paddy Power?
I probably won't, to be honest with you. No, because
Paddy
yeah,
has a market open for it and all.
absolutely. Why wouldn't you? Like, why wouldn't you?
Gamble
And I
responsibly, everybody.
yeah, of course, yeah, I do. But unless you have a direct line to God, he's probably not going to tell you who he's going to appoint because at the end of the
I,
day, he directs the Cardinals, doesn't he, Graham?
I'm actually going to go and say Matteo Zuppi is going to win. Is going to be the next pope.
Mattio's up. I'm guessing a name like that, he's Italian.
He is. He's Italian.
Interesting.
He's the. I think he's the bishop of Bologna,
Oh, right then.
and I believe he's going to win it based on nothing.
Jeez, Bologna, the Windy City, huh?
I in all the reports they seem to be hinting towards an Italian.
Yeah, I suppose they've given it to foreigners long enough, haven't they? So you probably
Yeah,
want, it's a bit
exactly.
like,
And with Italy gone real right wing as well,
yeah,
so
yeah. It's a
everything's
bit
out.
like all those years the English football team had where they didn't have the foreign boss, and they decided we needed somebody that's obviously the way the Vatican is going. They want something more homegrown.
Yeah, we need something to we need somebody to win us
Yeah, they've tried a
trophies.
poll, they've tried I can't remember where Benedict was from actually. Maybe he was Italian, was he?
Was Benedict Italian?
No idea. Francis was
Argentinian.
Argentinian. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hang on till we check where Benny was from. Jesus.
I think he was Austrian.
No, they couldn't have been, was he?
Ratzinger, wasn't he? Was he German or Austrian?
Oh, you could be onto something there, actually. Yeah, I forgot his real name. Was he? He's Benedict the 17th, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I
geez.
didn't know.
Yeah. Let's see. Hang on a second now. Ba-da-ba-ba-bum-bum. Jeez, he was born in
Oh,
Germany.
I had a feeling.
Oh, wasn't that the whole thing, wasn't it? That people were, I don't know if it's true or not, but wasn't the whole Hitler Youth thing and all that because he would have been of age?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
all came up.
Yeah. And then it was also just odd that he was German, given their, the Reformation and the Protestants. Mm. Yeah, there you go. Anyway, so they tried a Pole, they tried a German, they tried an Argentinian, so now they're going to bring it home. And I don't know what religion is coming home. Is that, I don't know what they're going to
Yeah,
go for with that one, but
yeah, they'll have something, won't they? It's coming home.
yeah,
The
look,
Pope
fair
is
play to
coming
them.
home.
Great. So, and look, if you indulge in the bit of holy bread cannibalism
Uh,
and the bit of the blood vampirism, fair play to you.
Danny,
Whatever you're into.
in between Haley's naps, are you just getting naps yourselves in, or are you watching telly?
A bit of both. Yeah, a little bit of both. I don't know why. Normally I love a nap, right? And I've had a couple of naps, but I'm a terrible daytime sleeper at the moment, so I'm really fucking struggling in that regard. I've just been glued to kind of just sport and news, to be honest. I haven't sat down to watch anything. I tell you, I'm fucking lying. I'm lying. I'm watching Celebrity Big Brother Mero and I don't care.
Really?
Yeah,
Jeez, I
yeah.
didn't expect you to say that.
But
Why
yeah,
are you watching that?
it was on. It was on one night, and we just, being totally honest with you, the remote control was on the other side of the sofa, and I wasn't getting up. So we said, let's
What
just see what.
station is it even on?
It's on ITV, but it's on Virgin Media here, right?
All
And
right.
we
Any
basically,
use?
out of sheer laziness, we're like, let's just leave this on and see what happens, right? And Mickey Rourke was in it, Graham. And when I saw it, I was like, hang on a second here. Like, Mickey Rourke won an Oscar, or at least was nominated for it. Like, he's a big
He
name. Who?
must he must
And
have went bankrupt or something that needed money.
and I think he was only in there for about 3 days because he threatened to rape someone, and who he threatened to rape a lesbian, basically saying like, you're only gay until you've had the right one, kind of thing. Uh,
Oh Jesus.
and he made like a
Of
couple of
course.
So he got fucking he got the heave ho, um, bit of scandal in it, which then sucked me in deeper because I was like, all right, well, let's see what else is going to happen in this shit show. The one Jojo Siwa, do you know her?
No, never heard of her.
She she'd be a big American online type person. I'd heard of her, but I didn't. I don't know much about her, but she's in it. Um, Someone from RuPaul's Drag Race is in it. Chesney Hawks is in it.
A drag queen's in it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
how did Mickey Rourke take the drag queen?
I don't know actually. I don't remember him having any particular comment towards the drag queen, to be honest with you. And then there's a load of people who are celebrities that aren't celebrities. Like I've no idea who they are, but it's chewing them for the brain, and you just get sucked into these things. So
How
yeah,
long's that going on for? Do they do tasks and all still like they
they
did back in
do.
the day?
Yeah, yeah, all that kind of crack. Yeah.
So
There was
you're
one
going to watch
task
that this evening then?
I might do with a cup of tea. Yeah, there's no football on tonight, is there?
There is. There's Arsenal Palace is currently on. It's 1-0 to Arsenal.
Oh well, then no, I'll be watching that then once we're finished up. Yeah, like it's not like I'm all in. I must watch kind of thing. I'm like if there's nothing else on, deadly. But yeah. So and also The Last of Us is back. I haven't watched the first two episodes of season two, but that will be getting watched.
I watched I watched the first season of that. I
Yeah,
don't think I finished it.
right.
Many episodes were in the first season? Six, was there?
Oh yeah, I want to say six, but possibly eight. But I'm gonna say six.
I think I watched half. You know the episode that's acclaimed to be a brilliant episode?
With the two men
Two
lovers.
lads.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And
that
I
was
thought it was a lovely episode. But yeah, go on.
it. Admittedly, that was a brilliant episode. Then I watched the episode after that, and then I was just like, oh, it's too. I just wasn't in the mood for it. I just thought it was too
Would you
depressing.
would you watch those kind of apocalyptic type things though? Like would you have watched like The Walking Dead or World War Z or any of that kind of
No, no. I
yeah,
watched World
see
War Z.
yeah, see it's that kind of genre, isn't it? It's kind of that
I
like
watched
end of
28
the
Days Later.
yeah, yeah. Um
I
I
wouldn't. No,
I
I
like
just. I
those kind
thought.
of
I thought it was good. I thought the acting was good. I thought the cast was good. That
yeah,
episode
yeah.
was amazing, but just nothing stood out for me to go back or to keep going with it.
Yeah, I played the computer game as well, which probably helped in terms of
I
me
didn't
like
know it was a computer game till after I watched it.
right, yeah, there you go. So that's you know. But
You a gamer as well, Dan?
I wouldn't say I'm a gamer, no, but like, I mean, like when I was younger, I definitely played a lot of PlayStation. Now, like, I have a PlayStation. I play it every so often, but I'm not a gamer. No, no.
Hey,
I was in an online Formula One league for a while during the pandemic. That was fucking great fun.
I remember that.
That was brilliant though. League
Remember
of
Jono
Ireland.
was doing the commentary?
I think John's still involved. I don't know. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. But yeah, League of Ireland F1 on the YouTube. If anybody's into their esports and that kind of thing, give the lads a look. I think that's still going. But yeah, I used to love doing that. It was great. The only problem for me is the races were at like 10 o'clock at night, and you know me and my bedtimes. So I was like, I
Yeah.
can't.
And would you be what's when you're playing a race in
Yeah.
that setting? Um, is it full 50 laps like?
No, you do. I think it was either 25% or 50%. Um, so like you wouldn't be doing a full. Like it would probably take you all in, including doing qualifying, right? Because you'd have to do the qualifying.
Ah,
Um,
that's too much effort, isn't it?
No, no, it's not at all. You do so they wouldn't do like that. So qualifying in Formula One's about an hour long, right? In like real life, but in the game one, we just do what was called short quali, and that would take 15 minutes, and it was handy. And then you do the race, and the race would probably take 35, 40 minutes. So you're talking maybe an hour all in.
That just bored the life out of me.
That's you know,
I did enjoy listening to Jono commentating on one of the games though.
yeah, yeah. And it's the exact kind of thing that John will be into, like, do you know what I mean? But look, it's not for everyone. You wouldn't be a big Formula One fan anyway, though, would you? Like,
Ah, look, it's grand. I watched the Saudi Grand Prix. Well, when I
oh,
say I
right.
watched, I put it on and I fell asleep around. I nodded off around the 10th lap, and
Yeah,
then I woke up and it was over.
yeah, it wasn't. It was one for the purists, shall we say?
Yeah.
The equivalent of a nil all draw with great defense in
Oh,
football.
really?
Yeah, it just wasn't much happening. Um, but yeah, where did I think what's the next one? I don't even know what the next race is.
How was the NBA season going? Is that in full swing?
We're in playoff season, baby. Yeah, it's great. The biggest thing in the NBA was the trade of Luka Doncic from the Mavs to the Lakers, and it's blown everything up in the air because the Lakers went from looking like they'd make the playoffs and kind of just, fizzle out to now suddenly people are like, have you seen the fucking Lakers? It's great. The Mavs have fallen apart and it looked like they genuinely look like well, when I say they, I mean the office who decided they were going to trade Luka Doncic look like the biggest morons in all of
So
sport.
where are the Mavericks now?
Nowhere. Fucking nowhere. So they traded Luka for Anthony Davis essentially, who is a good player when he's not injured. But the problem is, like, he is injured daily. He just,
So
you know,
so the Mavs aren't involved in the playoffs then.
they did they make the playoffs actually? Yeah, let me check. I can't remember off the top of my head to be honest with you because the
It
playoffs
feels
have
like that's
overlapped.
after flying through, Danny.
Yeah, it does feel like it's been a quick season.
When does the NBA season end?
May,
May?
May,
When's it
so
start?
October.
Jeez, I didn't even think that.
Yeah. So right, so the playoff brackets, right? So the Orlando Magic and the Celtics, Miami Heat and the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Warriors and the Rockets, and you have the Knicks and the Pistons, Thunder and the Grizzlies, Nuggets and the Clippers, Pacers and the Bucks, Lakers, Timberwolves. So yeah, the Mavs, it just completely backfired on them. Awful, awful decision.
Mental.
As everyone has been saying, I'm not, some sort of savant with that one. That's clear as day. You can't get rid of Luka Doncic and expect your team to be amazing. He is
No.
generational talent.
There's a new documentary on HBO, Celtic City, and it's
Yeah,
about the Boston Celtics. It's supposed to be amazing.
that I would definitely say that'd be good. Yeah,
I
yeah,
think it's a 4 or 5 part series. I think my dad watched it actually. I think he said it was excellent.
yeah. I'll give it a look. I'll definitely give that a look. I love Boston. I like the Celtics. I don't see why I wouldn't enjoy that. Sounds like the exact type of thing I'd be into.
Lovely. Right, Dan. Will we leave it
Yeah.
there?
But I tell you what was great though. Bohemian Football Club winning 3-2 against Shamrock Rovers Football Club. Quite
What a
enjoyable.
shambolic performance. My God.
Absolutely
Disgraceful,
you
disgusting.
love to see it. That's two Dublin derbies.
Yeah.
No?
But sure, under Stephen Bradley's reign in the league, I think Rovers have won 16.
Yeah.
There's been 3 draws and Bows have won 16.
Jesus,
There's-
that's some stat.
Yeah, yeah.
That is some stat.
That
But
was Bows' 16th time beating Rovers under Bradley in the league. Look, Bows deserved it. They were the better team.
yeah.
To give up a 2-0 lead against an inferior team like Bows is crazy.
Yeah.
But
It's
they relied on they brought on that young lad Reese Brennan,
yeah.
and he ran amok. He was deadly.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. But I think it's beating Rovers is probably going to be the highlight of our season. There's not a whole lot else going on, is there?
Hopefully, but see the thing about it is they have a good nucleus of a team there. Like Ross Tierney's class, Dawson DeVoe is brilliant.
They've always
Colin
great, yeah.
Whelan, Colin Whelan, excellent. They just Cornwall, I don't think is they don't have good defenders, and I don't think they
Yeah.
recruited well in the defense. They recruited about 5 or 6 midfielders and just playing them all out of position. Like Mountney and Flores, like they're good players. They were good players, but I don't
Yeah.
know if they're. I don't think Flores is a left back. Like,
Probably not. No. I think the
did you watch
reality
it even?
I watched the highlights. I didn't get to watch it live. But I think the reality for Bowes is this: like they're in this kind of no man's land of just this fucking sort of mid-table mediocrity that isn't going anywhere. Or it doesn't feel like it's not like you're kind of saying like Jesus, one or two players coming in could change that.
Mm.
It feels like it's going to take a lot more than that. But I just find the league this year fascinating. Like,
Well, there's 5 points between first and seventh.
but and this like and look at the top end of that table. There's clubs
Yeah.
here that last year no one would have predicted the top end of that table at the moment. Like I know it's still technically early
The
days and
top,
whatever.
the top, the top four didn't. win between Friday's night's games and Monday nights. None of them won between
Yeah,
Friday's nights. It's either draw or loss. So like that, I think that's what you want though. You don't want the team breaking away. There was signs at the start, like there's 11 games gone. There were signs maybe after 5 or 6 games that it was going to be a top five and a bottom five and a breakaway. But
yeah.
Bows and Derry seem to have got a bit their house in order a bit with results. But Bows stats are mad though. They've won five and lost six, and they haven't drawn any.
That's you don't know what you're going to get like that, and that's what I'm saying. That mid-table kind of thing, because like they look good against Rovers, yeah, but then you go back a couple of weeks ago and it's you're like, what am I watching? This is fucking appalling.
Yeah,
But I don't know. I like Drogheda being at the top of the table is like the the
crazy.
the simulation. It's like Football Manager. Like somebody's taking them over, and I don't know how they've got cheat codes because
But
there's
I
no
watched them
way.
on Monday against Pats, and they were the better team. And it was a 0-0 draw, but they were class.
Yeah,
Easy's just after scoring a cracker for Palace against Arsenal.
nice, nice.
Yeah.
Are Derry underperforming? Is that fair to say?
They are well underperforming in the sense of their wage bill is quite big, and they're sixth. But in recent games they seem to have got like they scored three last night against Sligo. Sligo are very poor. Now they
Mm.
beat us for God's sake, but I think we'll see now on Friday with Friday's matches how Derry will get on because they they had a good win um the other night and they seem to they might have got the house in order a bit. Um they'll probably win on Friday as well. They're against Waterford away.
Yeah,
So that could be another win on the cards. So Bowes
and
Pats is Friday. Galway,
yeah,
Drogheda.
Bows at home, but you expect like again, I just Pats will win that.
They should do, but you never know. That might after beating. Well, it didn't have a response the last time Bowes beat Rovers, so
Oh.
you never know.
Have Waterford put in a new permanent, or is it an interim boss?
Interim boss. There's talk of Rory Higgins going to Waterford,
Right.
um, which is mental. But there's also talk of Rory Higgins going to Athlone Town in the first division. They have new owners, so I don't know what the hell's going on. The league is mad at the
It is
moment.
mad. Now, we'll do an episode on the league at the midpoint of the season, will we?
Yeah, yeah, we will, defo.
Yeah, good stuff.
The international break in June.
Lovely, lovely. And we'll get somebody on to do papal history. There's,
Danny, do get
there's,
someone on, man.
there's two episodes to
You
start.
know, you've read a load of papal history books. You get somebody on for that. That'd be a class one.
Yeah, I will actually. I'll go through my books and I'll try find an author that I think is accessible to us.
Deadly.
Good man. Right. Okay. Look, that was a weird and wonderful return for us. 3:31 in the books. And yeah, it's all good, right? There's no rhyme or rhythm to these anymore, lads. We pop up when we pop up and just enjoy it while it's here. All right? It's great fun altogether. Lovely. Now,
Absolutely.
if you want to listen to any of our back catalogue, that's what I'm going to refer to it as from now on. You can do so by searching WTS Pod wherever you get your podcasts. That includes Podbean, that includes Apple Podcasts, that includes Spotify, Stitcher. You can ask Alexa and she'll even play us for you. We're everywhere. We're on YouTube as well if anybody's into that kind of thing. And I don't have a huge amount else to say, to be honest with you, other than I have eaten mess downstairs. And
Oh, lovely.
I'm going to have a bit of that now while I watch the rest of Arsenal play Crystal Palace over Wednesday.
And I'm going to have a bit of apple crumble with a bit of custard.
Are you going to warm that up?
Oh, Jesus, of course. Of course, of course.
Lovely. How long will you give that in the microwave to warm it up now?
A minute and a half.
Jesus, that'll be piping hot. You burn the tongue off yourself.
That's what you want. You want piping hot apples burning the roof of the gum off you.
Oh, Jesus, man. You're
A minute and a half would be grand.
I'm not mad on apple crumble or apple pie, generally speaking, especially though if it's going to
What's
burn.
wrong with you?
It's going to burn, especially custard. Wouldn't.
Remember that video you sent me from the Centre up north, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, man, that looked
Yeah.
unreal.
That's a figure that.
The apple crumble in the deli with a bit of custard.
Unbelievable. Well, like when I saw that, I was like, that, like, it wouldn't be for me. Like, I'd say no, thank you to that. But I can see why people would be making the trip, you know?
Oh, I'd be all over it, man. All over it. I would make the trip for it now, but it looked delicious.
Anyway, look, go enjoy burning the gizzards off yourself with that. And we'll be back very soon with another episode, lads. But until then, you missed your cue big time there, Mero. We're rusty. Go on, right.
Until then.
Clear eyes.
Full hearts.
Can't lose.
Too sweet. Sorry, I was thinking about Apple Crumble.
I don't blame you.